Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian review, but before we get started, I just want to wish all of you out there a happy Independence Day. Streamers, explosions, fireworks, whatever's going on. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate what?
I don't know. Really appreciate you guys watching today.
And being free.
And being free. Free from those English tyrants.
Yes, something we have in common.
Yeah, people asked us to do this review for a while now, and we did it, and someone suggested we do it for Indian Independence Day, so
Chris
we did.
Curry, as well
Chris
as a few others.
Curry, as thanks, Chris. So yeah, here we are reviewing Lagaan, 2001 feature film starring Aamir Khan, about late 19th century India under British colonial rule, where we see there's a drought and what was the guy's? He was a captain.
I'm not sure.
There's an English captain in this certain region whose arrogance and he's just an asshole, and he decides to basically tease and play with the emotions of the people under his rule.
I mean, in an early scene, he wants to make an Indian eat meat.
Right. And
it
was
great.
great.
For them to not have taxes or something.
And that was great.
King.
Let's just get into it. I feel like this movie's been almost 20 years. We don't have to explain everything. I thought that was great. That little moment was great because it made the ridiculousness of, I challenge you to a game of cricket and you don't have to pay taxes if you beat us, because of that scene. It justified
made it real. You're like, okay,
yeah.
I buy it. This guy's an asshole.
Exactly. That's the kind of dude he is. And he caught flack from the superior officers.
So they weren't
all
on board on it.
No, it wasn't. So it was great. All kinds of stuff that connected. It all made sense. It wasn't like, had he just been out of nowhere.
It started like that?
Yeah, had it just started with guess what? If you beat us in this game of cricket. If it was about Aamir Khan or Bhagav mocking their game and him getting so offended that he was like, oh yeah? Oh yeah, you think cricket is dumb? Cricket rules, bro. Cricket for life. Play this game. You beat us, bro. No taxes. Like if that would have been the case.
Or Aamir Khan came up to him and was like, we'll beat you, 3 years, no taxes.
Right.
It just completely takes away all the tension.
This made it real. It keeps you present. It doesn't take you out, and you're like, now you have something to root for. And I mean, how it's going to end, but you still it keeps you.
There's certain moments where you don't know,
engaged.
at least for me, because I have no fucking idea how cricket works.
Right.
I have a better idea now. I'm still probably wrong on most of my theories on how the game works. I know people have recommended certain videos for us to watch. We haven't. Surprise, surprise. At the very beginning, they scored 300 points. The first day, I'm like, 300 points? What the fuck is this? I don't know how the scoring system. So, as this was going on, I was starting to see, maybe they do have a chance. Because it wasn't. Cricket's not a traditional game to cover, I'm assuming, like baseball.
Yeah.
Where you can say, bottom, or maybe it is if you're more experienced with it, but I feel like there's a lot of back and forth before you finally get to the very end where you kind of know.
I see the elements between cricket and baseball, and I feel like somebody got tired of all the rules and things going on with cricket, and they're like, you know what? Instead of doing all this, let's make it simpler and change some stuff around and make it a better game. Yes, I said it.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We won't, because I'm sure there's so many people who will tell us we're wrong, whatever. But my point is, though, as the game was going, I feel like just in general, if all cricket games are similar to this, there is definitely a huge back and forth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time where you don't know who's going to win
until
you get towards the end. Kind of like soccer. A team can score 3 goals in the first 15 minutes, and they still have 70 minutes.
Exactly.
Or whatever left.
There's a way to come back.
Exactly.
There's definitely a way.
So it was kind of felt like that here.
And there's definitely every other sport out there, defense wins championships. I think.
Not on this one though.
Well, the British
offense.
guys thought they were going to score 600 points.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Yes, you're right.
Until the Indians clamped down.
Until that pitcher with
throwing the curveball, throwing the crit ball.
The crit ball. Yeah, that's true. I guess that would be defense.
And Arjan decides not to keep cheating.
Right.
Which
is. But anyway, so I enjoyed it all the way through. I mean, let's talk technical. We haven't talked technical in a while about a lot of movies. Shot on film, as you can tell. I thought cinematography was great.
It was.
I love the opening, the way the movie starts with the title sequence, but it was all shot practically. They were shooting the helmets They actually shot helmets like rotating on a Lazy Susan or whatever they're called. They shot the paintings. You could tell it was the paintings. It wasn't just like some image, Google search image now, which people would do, and then it looks super high def.
Or CGI.
Exactly.
Which would what you would get now.
100%. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that the movie took its time. I mean, it's 3 hours and 40-something minutes.
It's almost 4 hours, yeah.
Definitely things could have been cut out for sure.
The
but
songs.
That's not all of them. There's some that I definitely would agree with
Which
you on.
Which ones?
That I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I can't name. I don't know what they're called.
Well, what happened?
Well, this is my general note for all the songs. The thing I enjoyed most about the songs in this movie, as compared to most Bollywood songs that we've watched, with the exception of Bajrao Mastani.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying them.
Bajrao Mastani.
Yeah, that one. All these songs took place in the moment. They were progressing the narrative forward. Too.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them.
They were musical songs.
Yes. So it wasn't.
I'm gonna venture out there and say that this was the closest to an American musical that we've seen.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's
we're
not
just
a bad
making
thing,
a comparison between two movie
It felt
genres.
more like musicals that we're used to watching.
Exactly. Yes.
And
so for me though, well, not 100%, because like in Grease, the reason why I hate Grease is because every time there's a song, it kills the momentum of what the story is.
Well, I didn't say it was a good thing.
No, I understand. But I'm saying it didn't do that. This flowed through. It wasn't just Aamir Khan singing. It wasn't just the lead singing. It was everybody in the community singing.
I mean, it was West Side Story.
Yes. And who
were the Sharks and who were the Jets?
In West Side Story, though, those songs do progress the narrative forward a little bit more. They're kind of talking to each other. They're having their conversations, but they're still singing.
And if you want to get a taste of American musicals and you haven't watched West Side Story, I feel like that's a good one to check out if you're interested.
In musicals.
Musicals.
I don't
not
as like a movie.
Yeah, not as like it's a great film. Say as a musical, you got that. You got Singing in the Rain.
Right. A few others, but my point. Do you get what I'm saying though? Or it's like it went with.
I get it.
The flow.
I still watched 30 seconds of the songs and fast forward to them. I liked that the arrogance of this officer and how much he hated the Indian people, and he starts this fight.
You like that? You liked how much they were hated?
Yeah, exactly. But just like you could feel the hatred between them. Like there wasn't a mutual respect. It was like you guys are oppressing us, and the British.
There was a respect for the woman though, which I thought.
Well, for the woman
was my one negative aspect about the whole movie was the woman. You had to have a white savior.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But at the same time, it was kind of like there was also because she was a woman. Had it been a man, I don't know if they would have been so like accepting and keen to it. But because she was a woman, and it was like late 19th century, you know, there was more willing to accept it. And the little fits of jealousy that Gotti had with her.
That's why I was going to say that's why it wasn't a huge negative where it destroyed the movie. Because if it were just this white savior moment, then it would have been like okay. But there was more than just that.
No,
she falls in love with Aamir Khan. Aamir Khan never really falls in love with her at all. Never once. But his girlfriend gets jealous. Like there's that angle too.
Right. There's a little love triangle.
Exactly, but it wasn't too hard. Like they weren't going in the back like having sex and then created.
No, it stayed pretty innocent. There was only one time where they may have had sex, and that was when like he finally like expresses his love for her. Like when she's like, "Don't talk to me anymore. I hate you." You know, and he's like...
Well, no, I meant between him and Elizabeth the White.
No, and I'm talking like just in general, like nothing was really like super
risque,
forced until that part where they like it's night and they wake up together. You know, that's always been the classic. They had sex,
right?
Implication, but no, like I said, the
characters.
Yeah, the characters are great. I love just little things like when the other village finds out that he accepted this bet.
When that Sikh pulls up?
No.
Oh.
Before that, when this entire village comes down to kill him because of what you guys are gonna, you know, because you're screwing us over now too. This is bullshit. Whatever.
That was great.
That was good. I like
the king aspect. I learned a little bit about because I'm assuming that
the worthless ass king.
I know. Right. Who's really just a puppet king.
Yeah.
But he turned out to not 100% be one at the end.
Yeah.
But it was just like what I enjoyed the most is just the overall theme, the overall story, the idea of the concept of why wouldn't we take this fucking bet? What are we gonna just pay him twice the amount because that's what he said? Who are we really afraid of? We're a whole village here. What are they gonna do? Kill us? That's a big thing because that's a real thing.
Well, also, if they tax you for twice of what you're already paying, you're gonna die anyways.
That's the thing.
And that was like the selling point.
The small-minded thinking of like people who are being controlled, and like you can apply that. That's why I enjoyed it so much. You can apply that rationale to so many different things.
Right.
It crosses all the boundaries and cultural. You can apply that to Americans right now being controlled by banks or whatever. Like you can literally have that. If none of us pay taxes, we can change whatever we want immediately. If we withdraw all of our money from the banks, they're gonna be fucked. Because what are they gonna pay their loans on? Nothing. Because we're fucking, whatever. If we decide, I mean, there's literally, is it possible? Maybe.
It's possible. Is it probable? No.
Exactly.
And then also like, do you need an armed militia, whatever? That's for another day.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. Absolutely. And I like the movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. If we're gonna talk anything negatives, the whole white girl falling in love with him thing was just out of nowhere and unnecessary, and because you don't really.
And she learned Hindi like overnight.
Yeah, like overnight, and there was nothing that happened between them for her to even like start falling.
Hey man, she just has. Well, what? It wouldn't
and
be
then that
jungle
ridiculous.
Fever. What is it? What would it be for Indians?
I have no idea.
That brown fever.
That masala fever. Who knows? There's that movie Mississippi Masala with Denzel Washington, I believe.
Oh, I never heard of that.
I think it's Denzel, and he falls in love with an Indian woman.
Really, I didn't know that.
Look, could you look that up, Carlos?
I thought you were making that
Mississippi
shit up.
Masala? No, it's a real film. Came out like in the early '90s. Like
she just wanted that brown dick.
I guess so, but it was forced.
Its chest was hairy.
Maybe
that was what it was.
It was forced, and it didn't advance the story at all. It was just kind of weird. It was like let's create some weird like sexual like.
Could it have been cut out? Yes. But
you liked it because I didn't like it at all.
I liked when they had it. There was the one song where she actually sang, and they cut to her.
Right, where she has a fantasy where she's like married to him.
I liked that.
You liked that?
I
thought
liked
that was ridiculous.
And because that was probably the most Disney, what I would call Disney moment out there. But it made her character more real. It allowed me to say, okay, she's not just a white savior. Maybe she just wants that brown dick. And this is what her fantasy is. But it's also just
I feel like it's a common theme with you. You're also always looking for that angle somehow.
Brown dick?
They're just getting dick somehow or another. You're just obsessed with dick.
But what it made me think of in the
Denzel.
But what it made me think of in the moment was check out who the girl was, by the way. But what it made me think in the moment was when white people came here to this country and they would be kidnapped by Native Americans,
and then they would stay with the tribes.
And they would not want to stay. They would, because they understood what the other people were like. That's what it made me think the whole time. Now, the fact that she said "I love you" in English was also cute. It was fucking. She didn't say it in Hindi. She could have said it in Hindi. She didn't understand. So it's almost like she didn't want it to become anything.
I wanted to throw something through my TV screen when
you were so
happened.
angry.
I was so dumb. I was like, this is so.
But see,
cliche, but
I
not
like that.
But not cliche because it like.
It doesn't happen in movies.
Well, because it
Not
had
like
nothing
that.
to do with the actual movie itself. Like it was
a character moment for her.
It was a character moment, but for a character that wasn't that important in the first place.
I understand.
I mean,
that.
how much total screen time did she really get?
I'm not saying you're wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Could
it have been cut out? Yes. Yeah. But it made the overall picture better.
We'll agree to disagree because I thought it took away from it. I feel like you get rid of that, you had an even tighter movie.
You make it a tournament somehow, and they figure it out. There's a million different ways.
How much? Well, not for you, but I feel like I would have been a little more satisfied had
they figured it out on their own.
Yeah, and just been studying it and picked it up on it instead of having someone come and explain it to them.
I'm not saying you're wrong. It would have been more
Chuduri.
It would have been interesting if the Indian guy who's like her translator came and helped. Just that little aspect.
Right, since he like said screw you and took his hat off.
Exactly.
Which I found interesting as well. Taking my hat off means I quit.
Basically, yeah. After he slapped.
And the guy was a total asshole too. Like
100%.
Yeah.
But I'm just.
He was totally Johnny from Karate Kid.
Could the movie have been better without the white savior? Maybe. Did it need it? Absolutely no. There could have been a better way. That's storytelling. You can figure out a different way to say it. So like I said.
But it was still a really good.
It wasn't all about her
movie.
though.
No, it wasn't.
It was about cricket. When she came, it was about cricket. 100%. Like almost the whole time. That's why, to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. Because what did she really save? She told them the rules, but she didn't play for them. She didn't do any back dealings. Thankfully, they were siblings, so she didn't have to, like, sleep with the guy if they were not siblings. They didn't have to introduce any angles like that. There wasn't... what I was surprised at is how professional it was the whole time. like other than that, the one dealing, like no one was getting killed, no one was getting their legs beaten, broken, or
Yeah,
something.
and I
at
feel
the
like,
end,
well, because this is a family movie. Like,
but I'm just saying, there was no like murders going on. There was no one
there
trying to.
would have been had Anurag Kashyap directed it.
They would have all died at the
Yeah,
end in a
yeah.
massacre.
I mean, you know,
they would have lost a cricket
also
game
just
and
real
then-
quick to go back, like I really liked when the big Sikh guy came in. Like he just came in angry.
when he-
Like that was a great moment
And
too.
then it's just like that Randy Johnson
and he's
arm, just
huge.
huge. It was. I like I said, I enjoyed all the characters.
Yeah.
I liked the fortune teller guy who was kind of like crazy and just shouting out crazy shit the whole time. He was hilarious. I love the moment with the guy who's the untouchable.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to touch this guy because whatever reason. And then Aamir Khan was talking about, well, if you follow such and such, like people like him were the ones who were guiding Lord Krishna or whatever. I forgot what he
Yeah.
said specifically, and they all like had. I mean, that was a little quick realization that he's okay now.
Well, and it was also like we need him because like this
There's
is
no more
life or
players,
death. There's
yeah.
no like.
Fuck all that
yeah,
bullshit.
if we lose, it doesn't matter what cast you're in. It doesn't matter.
And that's the only
who you belong
that's why I
to.
enjoyed the movie taking so
Yeah.
long, because it was able to do all that. It was able to like take its time and say, okay, we need to show the struggle, because there was a fucking struggle that we did have to kind
there. I mean,
to a sense, to a degree.
it got all 4 hours out of it.
Absolutely.
It didn't. There's like the last movie we reviewed. You can watch it right there. There's definitely moments that were wasted by Gian Bajrangi. There was definitely time that didn't need to be used. They didn't like get everything they could out of the time on screen. They used every minute, and you can't really say they wasted time on
Absolutely.
screen. You know,
I like
and
the
that's
music.
and that's key to long movies, especially because it's really easy to lose your audience when you start wasting time. When you start wasting people's time and boring people.
If you're running over 3 hours,
Yeah,
you need to be.
You need to be.
It was nominated.
I don't want to say efficient per se, but
You do.
Yeah.
You do. It was nominated for Best Foreign Oscar. It was Aamir Khan's first movie. This director also did Swadez.
I mean
which,
first as a star.
As a producer.
Oh, as a producer. Okay.
Yeah. They filmed from January to July, I think. This is the biggest movie of its time when it came out. I'm just giving stats that I remember. At $5 million, that's how much it cost to make this whole thing, which is apparently temperatures were like from 0 to 130. Like just nighttime was like cold as fuck, and then to the point where like I guess Aamir Khan built everyone an apartment to just stay near set. Like they just built a set,
Just to
like apartment.
get as much out of them as possible.
Basically.
Nobody's going home. You're going to this apartment, guys.
So I guess we could do ratings now. This is like right up there with Three Idiots in terms of like Aamir Khan's best. I mean, I'll watch anything Aamir Khan does now. Like this solidified it. Like he's just tremendous performance. I mean, really, he was actually very good as an actor in this film. So not even taking into consideration like his production aspect, but then you
And
start
no
to
goofiness from him. Like every movie we've seen, he's except for Dangal, he's had like this goofy.
super, yeah.
Yeah,
This was
and
super
this-
to the point.
It wasn't really silly.
It honored the historical like aspects of it. It didn't make a mockery of any of it. When he's like trying to save those like I forget what animals they were.
Like the antelopes, yeah.
Yeah, like I was all serious too with the whole like that. It was just great. So overall, it was like a 9.
He was just
9.5.
young, stubborn, and like a rebel. That's basically was like he was sick of being under someone's thumb and wanted to fight. So I give it like a 8.5, 9 out of 10. I mean,
it's one of the best sports movies I've seen, and about a sport that I don't know anything about.
no, that aspect was great. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, don't get my rating twisted, guys. It just compared to other movies, Dangal's my favorite Aamir Khan movie.
Because it wasn't about
personally.
him too, which is
Right. And
One
then
more
I know
posh-
some people
one
say
more-
it's a feminist / anti-feminist movie, whatever. You know, that's like.
I got to give another pot shot to Bajrangi Bajao, because Aamir Khan knows how to take the back seat to a movie that he doesn't need to be the star of.
Yeah.
And Dangal's the perfect example of that.
Exactly.
He could have been the wrestler that comes out of retirement and like in Sultan.
Right.
But he said, no, I'm going to let my kids do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
Even though it's a true story. But anyway, about this movie. It was great. Yeah, 9.5 depending on the mood.
I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I'm glad we watched it.
I'm glad we watched it 100%.
And anyways, that's gonna do it, guys. Thanks for watching us. You know the drill. Smash that like button.
What do you guys think of Lagaan? I'm curious. What would you
Let
guys
us know
rate
what
it?
you guys think of Lagaan, and let us know what you guys are doing for this Independence Day, and we will see you next time.